Hey guys, I'm Sumarai BG. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today, we're going to review none other than Godzilla vs. Kong. I even have my Godzilla figure here. Anyway, I mean, that's really not what's important in this video, but anyway, let's get into this, shall we? So, this movie starts out with this really cool intro with like all these computer files and all this stuff, and all the monsters that Kong defeated, all the monsters that Godzilla defeated. So, that's a really cool intro, has a title sequence, and then so it's a normal day at the Apex Laboratory. And all the stuff's going on, and then all of a sudden, Godzilla shows up. We get like this really, I guess, cool shot of the inside of his tonsils, like his mouth. So, that's that. He goes up. He attacks some places for some reason. We don't know why, but it has been not confirmed. But it is said that something provoked him that has made him go crazy and all this. So there are two human characters to the side. So this whole movie, also in the beginning, we see that Kong is actually waking up, doing his normal, I guess, morning routine, but he realizes he's in a huge like barrier thingy, like this huge metal barrier around, so like he's not like actually in a jungle. It's like a huge like force field around it to make it feel like he's in the jungle. So he does that, and he has this little girl that he can communicate with really well, because if we see in this photo right here that she uses sign language to communicate with him throughout the movie. Anyway, let's talk about the rest of the movie, shall we? And just like in the other Godzilla movies, we have our human characters, which we actually have two groups of human characters. One is the Kong group, and one is the Godzilla group. The Godzilla group, which are also known as Madison, Josh, and Bernie, they are out on the mission to discover what... They have so many questions, and they will get the answer eventually. They're trying to figure out what made Godzilla go on a rampage or whatever. So, while they're doing that, the Kong group, on the other hand, the people in this group are Eileen, Dr. Nathan Lind, and the little girl, Jaw. And the reason and also, she's the little girl that can communicate with Kong throughout the entire movie. Anyway, let's go with the rest of this. So, as soon as the Godzilla group are trying to discover what made him go on a rampage, the Kong group, they actually discover an inside Earth underneath the cores, where there's a sacred Earth to where Kong didn't know that there were beings of his kind. So they tie Kong to a ship, trying to get him to Antarctica, so that he can lead the way down to his ancestors' land. But trouble happens, and that trouble being Godzilla appears, and then they both attack, and then we see this super iconic shot of Godzilla and Kong fighting each other on the boat. Gets pushed off the boat. Godzilla swims, and then atomic breath. Kong dodges it. So they fight. So instead, once that's over, Kong gets carried to Antarctica, and then all the human members of Kong, they're in this tiny little pod thingy. They go in, and then they go into the inside of the Earth. Kong discovers this huge door with his handprint. He opens the door, and then he sees this axe. Yeah, we see the axe, kind of like what we saw in the trailer. So that's cool. It's kind of like Godzilla's. Well, it is. And so now we're going to take a pause on Kong, and we're going to talk about what's going on with the Godzilla group. So while the Godzilla group are on the mission of trying to figure out this whole monster incident situation, whatever, they go into this underground bunker, where there are all these mechanical stuff and all that, and then they get transported to Hong Kong because there's a pod with all these little creatures and stuff for a project. And the project is part of the spoiler, which I am going to mention in the spoiler. So, anyway, so they get transported to Hong Kong for a reason which I'm about to mention in the spoiler, like I said, again. And so, back to the Kong group. So now I think this is where it comes up to a tie-up where So now Godzilla shows up in Hong Kong, and he breathes his atomic breath underneath, all the way to the ground, where he sees Kong. Then Kong, his axe is powered up, and then they fight. And then in the near moment where Godzilla has his foot on his chest, where it's like, so like, this is Kong, and this is Godzilla's foot. Where Kong's almost out of breath. They roar at each other, and then Godzilla's like, I'm not gonna deal with this crap anymore. He goes back into the ocean, swims, does all that. Kong is really exhausted, and now I think it's about time we talked about, alright, the spoilers, alright? So, if you haven't watched the movie, and if you don't want to see this part, make sure you skip to the time on screen right now. If you do want to watch spoilers, this is for your own risk, alright? The spoilers will begin in 3, 2, 1. Alright, you've been warned. Alright, you've been warned. So, while this transport pod thing, while the Godzilla group was in, they were getting transported to Hong Kong for the project, and the project is none other than, that's right, Mechagodzilla. We all had crazy theories. We had crazy theories that Godzilla was not actually Godzilla, rather Mechagodzilla in disguise, but we were wrong. So instead, they test Mechagodzilla, and plot twist, like the bad human character is actually the director of Apex, which I forgot his name. I know. Some of us, we don't really pay attention to the human characters, but anyway, on with the rest of the video. So they did that. He tested out, and then later on, as soon as it becomes morning in Hong Kong, then so actually the way Mechagodzilla is controlled is through the skeleton of Ghidorah from the credit scene of King of the Monsters. If you guys saw it from the credit scene of King of the Monsters, some group of people that I guess work for Apex, they bought the Ghidorah skull, they peeled skin off, used it, and they connected all these wires to it. But then later on, it gets malfunctioned, and then Mechagodzilla turns evil. And then, so if you see in this picture right here, we have the human character and then Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla kind of looks creepy in this because he has like the red eyes. He's not like a virus, not really like a virus or anything. He's malfunctioned. He now has a mind of his own. He's about to destroy the human character. And then while the Godzilla group is right next to him, he's like, oh no, get away. They don't actually say it. They're just like, it's kind of like in movies where like the human, like the good characters, they're just like really scared from the bad guy, even though the bad guy's trying to make his evil speech. But then he sees something really crazy happen behind him, and then the last second he turns, and then bam, Mechagodzilla destroys him. The mountain explodes, and then Mechagodzilla breaks free. Okay, not breaks free. He just breaks out. Then he attacks Godzilla, and then Kong, while he's trying to wake up, the Kong human characters, they go up to him, and the little girl, she convinces him that Godzilla is not evil. Mechagodzilla is evil. So Kong realizes, he attacks, and then in the final moment, bam, he rips off Mechagodzilla's head. And also before that, we have this cool shot of Mechagodzilla and Godzilla. They have this like cool Dragon Ball Z moment. Well, I'm not really a fan of Dragon Ball Z, but you know what I mean. Where they're firing their pulses at each other. They're like, Mechagodzilla's red and Godzilla's blue. So they fight. And then as soon as like later, a few more fights later, Kong rips the head off of Mechagodzilla and bam, he's dead. But wait, what about Godzilla? You may thought. He looks at Godzilla as a straight moment, and then Godzilla roars, but before he roars, Kong drops his axe. He's like, okay, I won't. And then Godzilla turns away, and then he swims back to the water, and Kong just goes back down to the earth, and yeah, that's the movie. Not to mention, I ordered my Mechagodzilla figurine, which should come in the mail pretty time soon from Amazon, and yeah, it should come in pretty time soon. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Godzilla vs. Kong review. Make sure you go watch the movie. It is almost certified on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if it is or not, but you know what I mean. Make sure you go watch it if you have HBO Max. Thank you guys if you haven't watched the movie, thank you for not watching spoilers. Otherwise, you would have been spoiled. Make sure you like, subscribe, go follow me on my other stuff, and I will see you all next time.
Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, turn on notifications, don't follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and I will see you all next time.